Buonasera a tutti. Richard is he's on time. Yann, he's updating his computer. It's a Mac. It's taking 12 minutes. He's gonna join us as soon as he can. But guys who don't know him, Richard said he has sit down. We're gonna go with our new intro video that some people have seen on the social media. How we doing over there in Maryland, Washington, D.C.? Here it's like 35 degrees of humidity. You're wearing a hoodie. I don't know what's going on.
It is that hot outside here too, but my basement is freezing, and I'm actually wearing a Montreal t-shirt right now, but it's so cold I'm wearing a sweater. So I'm good. How are you?
It's all good. It's all good. So you know what? Yann is gonna join us when he has to join us. So we're gonna put him in whenever his Mac is finished to updating.
Can I
yes,
interrupt you though?
of course.
Where is Stevie? Where is Frank?
Right now, let's keep this for the podcast. We're not recording right now. This is not. We're gonna make sure that it's officially on the podcast.
Yeah.
We're gonna let everybody know what is going on. But without further ado, guys, this is President did some hard work on here, and here is our newest intro video. We'll see you in a bit.
Welcome to the Milan Weekly Podcast, the English voice of Milan fans all over the world, with your hosts, Vinny T and Stevie P.
Benvenuti nella casa
Giroud in area, si gira, sinistro, rete, gol capolavoro di Olivier Giroud.
Mignon with another magical save.
Hernandez, coast to coast, del numero 19.
Leao carica il mancino. Eccolo qua, Rafa Leao.
Il Milan è campione d'Italia.
Da brividi, cari amici sportivi, welcome yet to another edition of the Milan Weekly Podcast. Here we talk everything Milan, the Telekom champions Milan, and siamo vicinissimi Milan. We have Vinny T, Richie K. That's what we're gonna call you for this edition. Yann is on his way. Richard from Serie A, sit down, welcome. And before we get into it, Richard, for anybody that's been living under a rock, who are you? What is Serie A? Sit down, plug your in wrestling terms. This is the time to put yourself over. Please discuss.
I'm nobody, but Frank and I, we are both on Frank Crivello and myself. We're on Serie A Sit Down. We call ourselves a recap show on steroids. We talk everything Serie A, from the big teams to the small teams and everything in between. We really try to get as much of all the couches that we can every weekend, and our shows tend to go very long because there's a lot to talk about every week with the drama, with the calcio, and it's not rare for us to go over 2 hours. Occasionally, sometimes 3 hours. We try to keep it in an hour, but it never happens. But we've been doing this. We're going into our 7th season. 7. Pato, Shevchenko. It's been a crazy ride.
And Adley now.
Yes.
And they could find you on all platforms for the podcast version. They just search for Serie A Sit Down.
Yes, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. We are everywhere. So just definitely give us a follow, give us a like, and we would appreciate it. I am grateful to be here with you.
Well, I'm grateful to have you on, and you know, you were trying to find out, like, you know, your partner in crime, Frank, wasn't available. My partner in crime, he's right now. I was told that he's on the flight back from the Dominican Republic. He has a right winger in his luggage. He's declared everything. He was scouting for Milan, but he was a bit too busy, Frank, today because. He was in St. Andrews, I believe. He says that he golfs. He golfs on Mondays. But here's your time to give him a little shot there to Frank.
Yeah, I recall last time that he was on, guys taking shots at me, Stevie taking shot at me. Now Stevie's not here. I
did not take shots.
You did not.
I'm a neutral
Stevie
guy.
And Frank. Stevie talking about going to hire a hitman. To go after for me. Maybe he's hiring. Maybe that's why he went to Dominican to get a hitman. I don't know. But Frank, I don't know. He's golfing or something. I didn't even know he golfed. It's the news.
They're
to
in
me.
cahoots, both of them.
I
They're
think
probably
they are.
taking the money from Milan Weekly Podcast, from Serie A Sit Down. They're spending lavishly, and here we are doing a podcast. But it's all good.
Yeah.
And until Yann comes on, guys, I want to take a chance at the time right now to do a bit of a housekeeping stuff. At PDVS, he was the one that guessed that it was Cindy Marina, that the voice in our newest video. President is working hard. He's going to put like a video compilation with the audio. Fantastic job.
Nice.
And in the comments as well, our friends at Manmade, guys, if you haven't checked out these boxers, these things are freaking incredible at Manmade. Make sure that you write down, if you take an order, that Milan Weekly Podcast, they're gonna, as they said, sprinkle a little love with your order. And it's crazy hot out there, right? Especially here in Montreal, guys. The Dairy Queen on Boulevard Pinneuf here in Montreal just mentioned the Milan Club Montreal. You will get 10% off any of your orders, regular price. And Richard, when it's nice and hot, a nice ice cream. What is your ice cream of choice when you go to your local Dairy Queen?
Dairy Queen, I will usually go with a Blizzard, a chocolate like Oreo brownie mix there. I forget what it's called exactly, but I have it every time. My wife laughs at me because she's
we
like,
indulge. We indulge. We gotta indulge. Indulging. We looked at the Saturday. I don't know if you were able to watch the game. We are Telekom champions.
We are.
Milan. We have a beautiful trophy. In the States, where were you able to watch? Did you get the same commentator that called him Stefano Piolo? We had Bacalhau, and our new goaltender signing, Tatarusanu, and Ibrahim Diaz, not Brahim Diaz.
Ibrahim Diaz.
So, were you able to watch the game yourself? No,
I watched the game. I did not hear those comments, but the comments aside, it was good to see the boys back in action. Good to see Giroud doing what he does. So that's a good way to start. Good to see Adley out there, and some of these other guys. I love the. How about you? Did you like the technology with the camera on the chest?
I think it was nice as a technology, like for a replay kind of thing, like to rewatch it, to rewatch it on Twitter, like Giroud's goal from his perspective.
Yes,
I do not see myself watching a game that way. I think it's just the way people that have played FIFA in the end, like they used to be like the GoPro camera that you're seeing from the guy's face. Not for me, but I think it's kind of nice, especially like the mic'd up stuff. Obviously, like if it wasn't for subtitles, I wouldn't understand what they were saying. But how about you? Did you have a problem with is it too inside? Because especially if they're talking about serious stuff, or they're talking about special techniques, or how did you take the technology?
I'm very similar to you. I think with the whole Redbird taking over, they kind of promised something like closer, better fan reaction, better content for fans watching, and this is like part of that as well, right? Koln been previewing this or talking about this for a while. It's nice to see them do it. It's good for highlights. It's good to see how the goals from different angles look. I like how they can use the cameras to adjust the body so you can see the different angles during the game. On Giroud's second goal, you got to really see the angle he was looking at. But during the game, I wouldn't want to watch it. I was talking to Lisi, who's in the chat. This reminds me of the old Nike commercial. Do you remember the old Nike commercials with the World Cup where the guys roll the fan cam, you get to be a player? And that's what it reminded me of.
But it didn't bother me. But again, like you were saying, just for the kind of highlights.
Yes,
and you're saying the superpowers. By the way, Michael Lisi, it's the mega powers. Randy Macho Man Savage and Hulk Hogan were the mega powers.
Yeah,
And so so how about impressive? Okay, let's be honest here. We like to joke around. Siamo campioni di Telekom, and we won a game. But who has surprised you so far? Would it be in the training sessions or in this game against FC Koln?
So far in this very young season, I think the new man, number 7, Adley, has been impressive just because I didn't know what to expect from him. And then he's been very confident on the ball, good passing, good vision. So I've been quietly impressed with him. And you got to give it to the goal scorer, Giroud, that touch to flick it over the keeper and put it away like that and then get a second goal. He's in mid-season form, it seems like. But overall, it's still early in the season, too really early to judge the players good or bad. But I'm happy to see healthy players out there. Happy to see Brahim Diaz.
Mr.
Please.
Mr. MacBook. Mr.
Oh,
MacBook is
hey.
here. Yann, did you do your update? You're okay? Huh?
Yeah, I wanted to postpone it and I hit the wrong button, so I just had to go through with it.
Welcome. You know, we had to start. Richard from Serie A, sit down. We're
Hello,
talking
Richard.
about that Siamo Telekom champions.
Yes.
And we're talking about the performance. How about you? What did you? We were talking to each other about this new technology. We both said like it's great, this whole body cam and mic, but only for highlights. Are you on the same wavelength as us?
I mean, I'm sure it serves other purposes for the people that are there for other reasons, like the advanced stats and all that other stuff. So I mean, any new angle is always fun to watch. It's kind of weird seeing the arms flailing on either side. But yeah, it's a cool thing, and I think Serie A especially should look at as many new avenues to grow the game and make themselves seem a bit more hip to technology. So I think it was good. But I don't know if it was them or that was the Koln player that was wearing it. Eh?
Yeah, I think it was something
from
the team itself.
Yeah,
and Richard was mentioning Adley so far, what he's seen. I'm gonna give a little kudos to Rebic, guys. Rebic, even in the training sessions and even at the game itself, did you see his face as captain? He was all confused. Like guys, he actually smiled. So far so good, but once again, I don't want to be those guys that are like, oh my God, look at us, we're on top of the world. It's been training sessions and one preseason game.
Exactly.
Yann, how about you? Anybody impressing so far? What you've seen?
I mean, I like Adley a lot. When he came in, I thought he made a difference. Diaz looks a bit more buff, which is good. I think he
didn't play bad.
Didn't play bad. Macias again, same thing. I found that he was finding space a bit better, but still that beating the first guy, what he was really known for when he was at Crotone, I haven't seen it at Milan. Didn't like the midfield very much. Pobega and Bakayoko, they looked a bit disjointed, but it's normal. I mean, look, one guy didn't play much. He just recently got arrested.
Bakayoko, I don't know
that video. And then Pobega looked like he was just out of sync. Probably like playing a different football.
It takes some time, but Bakayoko was. I don't see him staying at Milan. Yeah, I think he wants to stay, but you, Richard, would you even keep Bakayoko? He would be a fifth. You got Adley, Pobega, you have Tonali, you have who am I missing here, guys? Benacer. He's the fifth. Yeah. He's the fifth one. Would you even keep him as the fifth one?
Honestly, if Gattuso wants him, he can take him at Valencia. I mean, I wouldn't want him. I mean, it's good for depth, I guess. If everyone's injured, you have him out there, but you can bring someone from the youth team as well, or sign someone free like everyone else is doing.
So, again, Siamo Telekom champions. Make sure you guys don't forget about that. And Yann, you wanted to run your mouth about a pitcher, right? Yeah. Okay, you won a pitcher, but what happened? What happened last night? Did you not forget our bets? We had 3 bets. CDK was going to be signed during last week. I lost.
Yeah.
The second bet was Dybala was gonna. You said in August. I said July.
In August. Yep.
All right. And the third one is that Ziyech it was gonna come, and you said no. So right now, we are 1-1. So why are you showing me your picture?
Because until I see Dybala coming off the plane at Fiumicino wearing that disgusting
he already
jersey
chose a number.
Biami had a scarf around his neck and took a picture. Okay. It was like this. I'm going to wait until I see everything set.
By the way, for the people that say, is it canceling out the pictures? No. I'm buying a picture. You're buying a picture.
This bomboniere that I got is going to be very useful. Italians, whenever you go to any event, you get a bomboniere. This is a picture. So.
Is it good for beer, that one? Then again, do we even...
What isn't good for beer? What isn't good for beer?
Exactly. Richard knows. We cool it, It's got the spout. It keeps the...
I think it's more for iced tea. Like, when you have the family over, I think it's made for that. More iced tea. But,
Okay, there we go. So right now, we are at 1 pitcher each. We shall see. But siamo vicinissimi, guys. CDK, supposedly Maldini and Massara are flying to Belgium. Serie A said, Richard was telling me they took really the summer off, and we're going to talk about CDK for the last 4 or 5 weeks. Let me ask you, Richard, is it happening this week? Because last week I was convinced it was being done, but he sat out the whole Supercoppa. He gave his adieu, farewell to his to his fans. What do you say?
I think it's happening. probably in the next week or so. I know they're arguing about a couple million here and there. Milan's trying to get as low value as possible, and Bruges obviously wants him for more. But I think it's happening. I mean, I think that sign where he was saying basically goodbye, adieu to his home fans says a lot that a move is happening and it's going to be imminent. He sat out the game as well. So, yeah, I think it's happening. And lots of people were worried, Milan is not doing anything. And it's like, relax. Milan takes their time. Trust in Maldini. At least I trust in Maldini, so I'm never worried. So
I was telling you this before the call. I want to be on your side, trust in Maldini. And then there's always the doubts that come in. But Yann had mentioned something in the chat. And Yann, I couldn't figure out. You said, who has signed a player other than dry loan and free transfers in Serie A? He goes, this is not a Milan thing.
Monza got a few like lowly players that obviously for Monza. I mean, it's not a Monza podcast, but they're building a team to stay in Serie A. So, but they're getting guys that a team like Milan, Juve, Inter, Napoli, Roma, like top 4 contenders. You're not going to go get these guys. Maybe Pessina, but Pessina could have been just a flash in the pan at the Euro for 2 games, and that's it. So, and Atalanta has their reasons to probably give up on the guy. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I think it's a problem across the league.
But
you can't get the money together, and then Bayern Munich gets 80 million right away. Barcelona's mortgaged their future; they have money in hand right away. I don't know,
promise to pay. It's very different. It's a promise.
Yeah, it's a whole structure. I was reading that Swiss Ramble thing. It's a long thread, but interesting. They're doing it all legally. It's just they're mortgaging a lot. It's a big thing, and I don't think the Italian teams are going to do that at all.
I don't think they will do it at all.
No.
And it was when I heard about the Dybala thing, I reminded myself was my dad, career plumber. And at one point, he was telling me that they were working on Maurice Richard's house. Rich, I don't know if you know Maurice Richard, the rocket legend of Canadians. And the house, when he passed away, they were trying to sell the house for like $750,000. It was a house valued at about $250,000. Okay. And a month within trying to sell it, somebody offered $450,000, and they laughed at him, right? And in the end, when my dad was renovating the house, was a guy that picked it up for $275,000. And I was reminding of the story of this is exactly Dybala. Dybala refusing $8 million at Juventus as a renewal. Inter had offered, I believe we said, 6.5?
6.
I think so, yeah.
6, and now taking, is it 4.5 if we have to believe what they're saying? 4.5, 5?
I think it's some of it's tied to performance. So the more games he plays, he might get an extra mil out of it.
But Richard, to you, was this surprising for Dybala to sign with? I think at one point,
and Europa League over Champions League,
and Europa League over Champions League.
Europa League over Champions League.
So, to you, was this a surprising Dybala? I think at one point people were believing it's going to be Napoli or Roma. I don't think Inter was in the race anymore. But how did you take this news?
Surprising for sure, because this whole time I thought he was either going to go to Inter or maybe go to La Liga or something like that. And Inter, you can say what you want about them because they're shitting themselves pretty much, not doing a really good job. And Dybala, is asking for all this money and nobody wants to pay for it. Meanwhile, Juventus is laughing at him like, okay, go see what you can get. And then Roma jumps in the picture. I thought for sure, like you said, like Napoli was going to be in this mix here. And I thought it'd be a pretty interesting signing if they got him. But Roma jumps in, and good for them. They need, they might lose Zaniolo, they might not. But bring in Dybala, they lost Mkhitaryan. I think that's an even trade, if not an upgrade with Dybala. If he plays his potential, he's going to be obviously an upgrade. And if they keep Zaniolo, this is a fantastic signing. Big if, but I like the signing. It's very shocking, but did not see this coming whatsoever.
And Yann, your friend Lupo must be happy about Dybala joining him. We'll see what he has to write about him. But Zaniolo, I don't think they're keeping Zaniolo. But were you surprised? Well, obviously, you're because you lost a pitcher of beer. But
I lost a pitcher of beer. I thought it was going to drag out longer because in my head he was going to Inter, and Inter had to sell somebody in order to buy him or bring him in or pay a salary or do something, which is now going to maybe. They talk all big because they got some guy on a dry loan that has to go back at the end of the year. But
they were laughing at us for Botman and Sanchez.
We don't.
But Bremer and Dybala, isn't it the same thing? for Inter. They thought they were going to get Bremer. They thought they were going to get.
They might still get Bremer. I read today they made another offer, but at the same time, they laugh at Milan for finances. But right now we don't have to sell anybody to just start the season. They need to sell somebody to start the season. They don't have. They're missing something right now. They're in the negative. So before they make any moves, they have to do something. We're just frugal with our money, and we're like an old Italian man trying to haggle for bread at the Bonanza down the street. So we're in another situation. I don't know why. Like the other thing I read, they're leaving tonight for Bruges, and they're only going to deposit an agreement on Wednesday. What are you doing on Tuesday? Sightseeing? You're trying waffles? Like, I don't know.
Maybe they want to
it's
go.
historic
Finish,
city.
no?
They want to go see Jean-Claude Van Damme over there in Belgium. Maybe go meet him up there.
But I read these reports, and it's like it's an urgent thing, and they're waiting 2 days. Anyway, we'll see what happens there. But yeah, good for Roma. They finally got a player that's if he plays, like Richard said, it's a great signing.
And right now, guys, top four, Napoli hasn't done anything.
No.
Right now, I'm sorry, guys. If we got to look on paper, it's Milan, Inter, Juve, and Roma.
I'm gonna put Roma in there. Yeah. Even with the terrible
Lazio,
defending.
maybe Richard. No,
I would put Napoli over
Lazio.
Juventus at the moment.
You're putting Napoli over Juve?
They lost Koulibaly, yes, but I still
They lost the starting 11. Richard, what are you drinking over there?
Grappa? I don't know.
I don't see. No offense, but I don't see like when
It's
seeing
still early.
Koulibaly out.
I think Lazio's past Napoli right now with the signings they've made. I think Lazio's past Napoli. And now it could be wrong. This Georgian kid could be the next.
But then again, Lazio, it's Dr. Jekyll and
He's been
Mr.
looking good in
Hyde.
the preseason.
We don't know what kind of Lazio we're gonna get.
Come back to me at the end of the Mercato, and I can tell you how I really feel.
Okay, so we'll
it's
go.
too early.
Too early.
In the end, we other than CDK guys, if we do land him, do you see anybody else coming? Because that's what's alarming about everybody's CDK. Ziyech hasn't been a part of the discussion in the last couple of days. There's always that right wing discussion. Maybe putting CDK. I don't know what's going on, but Yann, is it going to be? Other than CDK, it's all going to be dry loans and promise to buy. This is still an Elliott. This is still an Elliott team, correct?
If we want Stevie P to come back from the Dominican Republic, they better get a right wing.
He's got him in his luggage. I said it before. He smuggled him in the luggage. Yeah,
found them in the jungle.
Eduardo.
I'm telling you. Today, so far, I don't know. The Milan Post, they said 5 million plus 20 million obligation to buy for Ziyech. But for me. It's either we have an agreement with the team and this player is going to want exorbitant amount of money as a contract, which I think Ziyech is one of those guys. He was getting well paid to play 70% of the games at Chelsea. So I think the idea that he's going to come in here and take 3 million or 4 million, I don't think that's going to happen. And he's probably going to go elsewhere. So who's the guy that's going to come on the right side? It's a bit concerning, man. Like, I don't think any of our other positions maybe the plan is Origi on the right side. But the guy is busted, so when are we going to see him play the right side?
If that's the plan,
that could be a possibility.
It could be a possibility, but if that's the possibility, Richard, I throw this to you. If that is the possibility, then you got to go look for another striker because you're not gonna go all season with Giroud and Ibra. And yes, Ibra did sign. Guys, are the numbers out for Ibra? Is it what
1 to 1.5 or something like that?
1 to 1.5 with promises and bonuses, but. If that is okay, so back to the original question. If we do sign CDK, do you find anybody else? Do you think anybody else is going to come? Are we going to dress the right wing? No, there's that guy from Tottenham. They're talking about a center back. But what do you feel is going on? Is that's going to be all of spending for Milan?
I don't think so. I think Ziyech might be coming. It'd be interesting to see who we do need a real winger, no matter what. I do think Origi would do really well on the right side because his speed with Leao's speed on the left, that would just terrorize defenses. But you're right. If he does play right, we need a backup striker because the two old men up top can't do it all season long. They're good, but they're not all season long caliber, right? So I don't know. I hope we do, and I feel like there is going to be another big splash if we do get CDK as well. But we still have some needs, backup for the striker, like you mentioned, or right winger, depending on what Ziyech does. And I'm curious.
It's true that
Mr. X is coming.
Mr. X, Mertens, did he sign anywhere? Dries Mertens?
I don't know.
I think they had offered him some money in Napoli to maybe re-sign, but it's not that much. He's probably like trying to
I
I
would
mean,
take him.
that's another signing that I could see a team like Lazio or Roma taking, or
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
I
was
don't know
saying,
if
like,
he's
even
is he
Labgril
going to be. I don't know if he's something that I really want to spend salary
even
on.
said, like,
at this point.
even if he goes play on the wing, you can't leave him out. You can't leave Giroud by himself. He always said he doesn't want to play for any other Italian team, Mertens. So if he doesn't sign for Napoli, he's going to go somewhere else. But then again, they all say that, right? And
Dybala, right?
Exactly. So, guys, there's another preseason game, I think, on Saturday. First game is on August 14th, I believe, on Saturday at noon. How's busted tweets, Yann? Have we found anything?
I mean, there's stuff out there, but it's the typical. These are 4 big clubs, and your club's not there because of this.
Because I wanted to, because Facebook Frank, obviously, he reached out to me on a personal level, and he had sent me this tweet here. Richard, you guys do who won Calcio Twitter. Us, we do the complete opposite. What's the one, like, was it a busted tweet?
Right.
Well, Frank has sent me this tweet here, and I want to. So the tweet from at Iniesta Vision, the four most historic clubs of all time. Incoming comments from Liverpool or Milan fans having more Champions League, but Champions League is not the only metric. You have to consider overall success, longevity, legends. For example, Milan can be in the top 4 with only 48 trophies, while Juve has 70 plus. In this picture, he put Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and Juventus. And what Frank had to say about this, well, let's listen to him, right?
Just remember, Vinny, Milan have a 47% success rate when they've been in the Champions League as actual Serie A winners, representing Serie A as the top team and winning the Champions League. There are 15 appearances as winners to their 7 titles. Inter are at 25% because they've represented 12 times as Serie A champions and won the Champions League 3 times, while lowly little Juventus have represented 27 times and have only won twice, giving them a whopping, I'll be nice, no, I won't, 0.07%. So whoever said that can take that little fact and stick it up his ass. I authorize you using this voice clip in the podcast.
He gave us out just in case we get copyright. But
in case, perfect.
Yann, what was your first response to that tweet when you saw it?
Where's Glasgow Rangers and Glasgow Celtic on that list? Then
the Celtic have what, 101? Or is it Hearts? Is it Hearts that have like 101?
There's another aspect. There's another aspect to that tweet as well. Barcelona was utter dog shit for like 70 years, and even when they had Johan Cruyff, they couldn't beat Milan in the Champions League final. And then Frank Rijkaard and the rest, the rest is history. They had some really good players, and they went on a run for 15 years. But that's recency bias on that list, because Real Madrid I get, Bayern Munich I get, even Juventus on a certain degree on a top 10 list that I can even get top 7. But Juve to me is a bigger club than Barcelona. Even like Barcelona was not winning titles in the league. Barcelona got lucky, and now they're panicking and trying to grasp onto that success instead of remembering of who they were. They were a team that developed and stayed true to their culture, and now it's a Mickey Mouse club. So I don't know.
Richard, what do you say about this tweet? It's like, is it Celtic that have like 100 domestic? I think there's one club in Scotland that have like is it Hearts? Anyways,
I feel like Rangers.
Is it Rangers? No, Rangers. No, Celtic is Rangers is newer than Celtic. Celtic was Rangers were formed, I think, in the 60s, 70s from the Protestants versus the Catholics. But there's one team that have like 100 domestic cups, and I think what does a domestic cup mean if you can't win in Europe? But what do you say to that tweet? They definitely not won Calcio Twitter.
No, they did not. I think it's recency bias. It's probably a teenager who lives in his basement who's really watched the glory years of Barcelona over the last 10, 15 years. Yeah, it's these tweets are funny when I see them because I'm like, have you watched any football ever? Real Madrid, that makes sense, right? You look at their 100%. Facebook Frank talked about how Milan's percentage, entering Champions League and winning it. Real Madrid's is fantastic. obviously Bayern Munich has a long history as well, and like Yann said, Juve's been around. They had they're a top 10 team, but to leave Milan out of it, it's laughable. It really is.
Or even Liverpool, guys. Liverpool is a good
Yes.
discussion to
Yes.
put in there. But Twitter trolls, clickbaits. What else is there? At least they keep us entertained. But so you didn't scour too much
No, I did
the
not.
Twitter.
I did not. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait it out because
You're gonna
now
wait it out.
everyone's emotional. One day your team's getting a player, the next day they're not. Then you have to make up your lineups, and then they get taken down because the next day it's a different player. So I'm just gonna let everyone have their
Siamo
fun because I
vicinissimi.
could have like, already today. I saw one from Chris DeSantis by posting the Roma lineup, and it's like that midfield is still like Cristante. And who's the guy that they just signed? The old geezer there with those skinny legs. What was his name? Matic? Is it Matic?
Matic, I think. Yeah. Is it
Oh my
Matic?
God, that mids. I
But-
don't know, man. They
but
might
it's-
want to get Bakayoko.
It's the
when
same
they look at that
discussion
mid.
with Juve, Richard. Let me throw it.
And-
People want to talk about Pogba, they want to talk about the Mary, but if you get rid of
No, but-
Delete, which is supposedly done, what defense do you have?
But
Yeah,
Vinny,
exactly.
even this Roma lineup, they had their best player, who's Pellegrini, in my opinion, playing out of position just to make space for Dybala. It's already like, oh, you're playing FIFA. You're on the video game over
Yeah.
here. Because that's not going to work out. You don't move your best player to the wing to make place for a free agent you sign.
Yeah.
And Dybala's injuries, he's going to be a good backup to Pellegrini, I think, right now. He's not going to take a starting role. Because even
You
last
don't
year,
think it-
Pellegrini was a better player than Dybala last year. You're not gonna bench Pellegrini.
Dybala
with Dybala, I'm sorry.
starting. Dybala starting.
Well,
Mourinho's making
I hope, because that's the mistake. Because Pellegrini should be starting. He's the best player on that team. He's incredible.
Do you agree, Rich?
I agree. Pellegrini is the best player on that team, but I also agree that Dybala will start. I mean, how do you not start him? I think if he starts struggling early, Mourinho is going to bench him or whatever. But he's going to give him every opportunity to start and hopefully be the playmaker that he hopes he can be, as opposed to the player we've seen over the last couple of years, who's had great moments and had many not great moments. So we'll see.
We shall see, definitely. For guys, you know what? These are not going to be a 2-hour long Serie A sit down podcast. These are very quick conversations, like we did last week. Did you guys anything that you like to talk about? I saw Mourinho's tattoo, and obviously the special one is going to say, "I'm the only one that can have this tattoo," because he put him to the Champions League, the Europa League, and the what do you call it?
Conference,
the Conference League,
the Mickey
trophy.
Mouse League. Yeah.
The Mickey Mouse, Bakayoko getting arrested at gunpoint, mistaken
What was
identity.
that?
Fucking-
What was that?
But you know what? It's surprising that didn't even come out because it happened on July 3rd. That was really, unfortunately, in this day and age, we see way too much of this kind of stuff. Supposedly mistaken identity. Anything that you guys have seen. By the way, I like Adli that he came on a preseason. It's a cup match, but he was already getting into it with the other team. I like
to protect the boss's son over there. Do you see?
I like it. I like him with that hair there, Maldini. I'm not too sure, but guys, for Maldini, is it a dry loan or is it an option to buy with Verona? Do you guys know?
Maldini's going on loan. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and you're not keeping up, man.
No, I don't.
Either mind.
I
don't
think
it's going to
I
be
think there's
option to buy. No.
I think I had seen it. Maybe you know what Compare Faz is going to tell us. Fazing the vase umbrella holder, yeah. But they call him Pittore. They're calling him the painter. They're calling him. But I like it because it's Roba da Milan for the Sadly. Hopefully, we see a lot of good stuff from him in the coming games.
He looks present on the ball. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
he made some
Yes.
moves, little quick 1-2s, and then he makes these release balls that just fall gracefully in an area where something could happen, which I think is something, especially on that right side, given the fact that we don't have the greatest talented players. The way Calabria maybe moves the ball up is a bit clunk-footed compared to if you can get it to an Adli. Maybe a bit more finesse, get the guy the space, because they can both run, those guys that we have on the right side right now. They just need a direction, and I think Adli's going to help a lot, man. He's gonna ease the pain of the Kessie loss, I think. And obviously Frank is a greater player right now, but kind of like Mike Magnan last year, I think he's going to help us forget that we lost another great player.
I love Lab Gorillas. So like, we don't have any signings, so let's talk about other teams' signings. But how about you? Do you feel? Let's just say, sorry, that we do not sign anybody. Do you feel confident in this season, Rich?
I mean, we didn't really lose anybody, right, of substantial note, which is good.
Kessie.
We got Adley, so it could be a wash, right?
Okay.
But who has the other teams really picked up? Yes, we know Inter got Lukaku, but is he the same person? Is he shelf himself? We don't know yet. We
he
knew
regrets
what he did
leaving.
previously.
He made a mistake. He said he made a mistake leaving because
Inter
is in
Doesn't
his
mean
heart.
He'll play better. Doesn't mean he'll play better. So it's to be determined with a lot of players. I think if Milan starts out the way they are right now, they're okay. We still have some gaping issues, right? But this team won the title last year, and teams have upgraded, but not. Milan still has a defense. Milan has defense, and defense wins you championships. They need to do something offensively, obviously, because we need the right winger. We need, hopefully CDK playing, maybe a backup striker. But I'm okay with the team that has right now. I don't think it's perfect, and it'll be a difficult Scudetto, fight. But I'm okay with the team if this is what we got. But I hope this is not what we have. I hope we can make a couple signings here. Hopefully this week we get one from Belgium. So.
Trying to be neutral as possible, and you know what? I even see we're talking here. Say, okay, we didn't have to say too very much on news, and I forgot about Patreon. How can I forget about our Patreon questions? First, Gio. Keep up the great work, guys. Best way to end the Monday with Milan Weekly Podcast. All I have to say, please like and subscribe. Let's get this channel to 10K subs before the start of the season. No question from Gio. Thank you for supporting at all times. We have Fabio. Good day, fellas. All the best from Long Island, New York. With our first preseason game under our belts, how are you liking the new home jersey? Out of 10, what do you rate it? I would say 8 out of 10. Can't wait to see the new away and third kits. Keep up the great work. Forza Milan. Yann, what do you give the new jersey?
So I didn't like last year's home jersey, that really wide V-neck thing. I don't know. And this one, I kind of like it, but again, they did some weird thing with the neck. Goes like, I don't know. I feel like I'm a superhero in that thing, and I don't
Maybe
look
you
like
are.
one, so I'm not. But I don't know. I think I'll give it until I see it in person when I go by it. I think for now, I'm going to give it a 7 on 10. So, but I do like the concepts of the other ones. That if they're real, like that greenish third jersey, I think it's pretty cool. And even the home, I like the home kit. So, and like, I like it's, I'm probably going to buy it anyway. Who am I kidding?
I'm definitely buying when I'm getting there for the derby. I'm just debating about authentic or authentic.
So I was looking at that too. The authentic, it's not a real patch like these ones. It's an iron-on because the players like to be as light as possible. And I feel like if I'm paying more, am I getting an iron-on patch? Are you serious?
True.
Could you just give me the option at the price I'm paying? Like, I have iron-on or not? Like, it's really weird. Like, I'm not a professional athlete. I don't need like.
Probably I'm going to get a replica because that costs
me down
with the Canadian exchange. But Richard, how about you? What do you give the jersey out of 10?
Judging just the home jersey, 7 out of 10. It looks okay. I'm not a fan of the black in the back. I like to see the red and black in the back, but 7 out of 10. It looks decent.
I think the way the font and the black and the red and the white, the way the numbers pop, I think that's why I'm going to give it, for me, an 8 out of 10. I really like it. I definitely like it more than last year. And I'm just debating, Faz saying the replica, I'm probably going to get, I need to replace my Seedorf one. I need to replace my Van Basten one, because I don't do regular players anymore. I just do the classics, and this was back in the day that I thought that I could just iron on numbers, and that didn't work out for me. So we'll see. And because if I'm buying all originals, it's going to be expensive. And
so you're buying numbers, Vinny. You're buying numbers for your jersey a la Maldini Masada. Like, I'm going to try and save a few bucks and put them on myself.
That is exactly what I was doing.
They're getting there early to bring in extra luggage so that they can save on the transport costs for Charles. What, to bring him back in the luggage, maybe. They're going to try and sneak him in. To try and
buy two,
Elliot, look,
buy two, get one free tickets.
Yeah, maybe like that.
That's the way it works. Or maybe take the train back. You got to save some money on there, right? So we shall see. And Vincenzo Mancini saying, Buonasera, gentlemen. I got a 2-part question. First is more of a pet peeve. Does anybody else hate pictures of potential Milan signings wearing our new kit with a welcome to Milan message? Drives me crazy. Yeah, these things are like these Photoshop kind of stuff. But hey, clickbait. Second question. Today we wake up with the news of Zlatan's renewal. It is some good news, but what about the major issue of our right wing? We have been so focused on CDK for what seems like 2 months, which continues to drag on. We are now focusing on trying to sign another defender, which I think should be much lower on the priority list. What about a proper right wing? I have little faith we will land Hakim Ziyech. Why don't we go back and focus on CDK's teammate Noah Lang for a double transfer? I feel he fits Milan's transfer strategy way better and has a lot of potential to grow with us. Thanks, guys. Richard, now let me throw this to you. What do you say to this? It's like, yes, CDK, but it's been 2 years. We've been talking about a right wing. Steve says we want a Scudetto, not with 10 men, with 9 men, but it doesn't make any sense. Like, unless they're getting CDK and somehow moving somebody, are they going to put Rebic on the right wing the way he plays for Croatia? But it doesn't make sense that they haven't addressed this unless they're pulling something out of his hat.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if they are. I like that idea of CDK and Noah Lang. I do like that. I would love to see 2 youngsters on the team kind of grow and really become the core of the team. But I have to imagine something is being done, whether it's something out of the left field that we are not expecting or just a quality signing that nobody even saw coming because of a free or whatever. But I have to imagine Maldini and Masara are doing something to fix that right wing. I mean, how could you not? If you just watch Salsicha Maker over the last however many years, you got to know he doesn't do anything for us. He has great work ethic, but that's about it, right? And haircuts are terrible. So I don't know. Let's hope.
Yeah.
I don't know. Noah Lang was like really talked about at the beginning, and then I don't know what happened to him. He just fell off I guess the agent wasn't feeding the transfer gurus with any more news, so we fell off. But like I'm with Richard. Like,
attitude, maybe problems.
Whatever, attitude problems. I mean, maybe I don't know. But
Zlatan was slapping back into place. Yeah,
they play together now. They might bring some chemistry that might alleviate the fact that they're not there training with the team. You can play them together at some points, and it's going to be a lot easier to integrate. But again, what's going to cost to get them both? 50, 60 million? Let's be real. I think I would dreamed of seeing the Scudetto before I dreamed of seeing Milan spend that much money on one transfer. So, I don't know. It seems like it's going to be, maybe they're working on a loan. I really just hope it's not Domenico Berardi. And I know Steve's probably going to disagree with me here, but I do not want him. I don't think he's made for. I find that his career, he's been good at a small club. Anytime the pressure mounted at Italy, he does the tarantella on the right wing, doesn't know what he's doing, and makes mistakes. So I have a feeling that he would choke at a big club, and that's not just at Milan. I think at any of the top 6 clubs, I don't think he's made for that. And a lot of his stats were against smaller teams, and I don't know. Right. I don't trust the price for the price tag. If Sassuolo was asking 40 million, I
wouldn't pay 40 million. I wouldn't pay
maybe
40
on
million
a loan, maybe on a loan with no obligation to buy. But I'm not convinced of him at all.
And breaking news. Notizie da New York. Kumbare Ciccio Franco, Milan Club New York. He rejoined the Patreon live during the podcast. Thank you very much, Ciccio. Maybe he just wants to throw in a question, but if he had a question, he could have just asked on here. He's got my phone number. Thanks, Frank, for that. We really appreciate it. But guys, let's wrap this up. I like these little 45-minute podcasts, because we have nothing else to talk about other than we could talk about other people's.
I'm not used to this. It's like a sprint for me.
It's a sprint. Yeah, we could talk about Fabregas going to Como in Serie B.
That's amazing.
I don't know where
amazing.
that came out from. Good for.
It's a beautiful part of the world. And
yeah.
If I'm done playing like top level, but still want to get a good workout, Serie B this year is going to be fire. By the way, guys, there's some good matchups in there.
Tipo Inzaghi, alla Regina, my friends.
For some of us with gray hairs over here, you might remember some of those teams from the '90s, and watching Milan having hard times against some of these teams. I remember Pisa being like sometimes difficult. So it's gonna. There's Padova. There's a few good teams over there, and it's gonna be exciting. I almost want to make sure I catch some Serie B games this year because at least half of the league, I'm interested in seeing what happens. And
Regina,
it's gonna be pretty good. I just hope there's not half of them. I hope half of them don't go bankrupt, like is the usual thing.
But then Palermo get bought from another American company. There was not a couple.
Manchester City.
Yeah,
they got bought by the Manchester City group, but them are Serie
18 million or something like that. Nothing. They bought them for nothing. They bought them for like a third of a defender they buy.
Brandon, the same way we talk about Uncle Fester and Silvio. We have said it. I think they're building a team. They're building a team to stay in Serie A. Maybe this year the Genoa's Genoa got relegated. Who got relegated?
Yeah, they're in the second division. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe this year a team like the Sampdorias that weren't doing very well last year. Maybe these are the times that they're gonna maybe get relegated. We shall see. But how about you? Anything other than Cesc Fabregas going to Como? How about in the States, Serie B? Can you watch Serie B, Richard? Is it easily available? Legally, I mean. Don't talk to me about your illegal streams there.
I don't think it was previously, but I heard someone say that there is a way to watch it now, and I slipped in my mind. But I think it was, I don't know if it was YouTube or one of these other channels, maybe it's Fubo or something provided. I'll have to look it up. If I find it, I'll let you know. But I'm gonna try to watch it no matter which way I can do it. I have a VPN and all that stuff, so we'll figure it out.
That's we got DAZN, I think, shows it a bit, no, for Canada.
Okay.
I think if you have the VPN, DAZN in Italy shows Serie B.
VPN,
At
yeah,
least
but
some of the games, yeah.
Yeah, because
Which is legal?
Geo says Paramount Plus and
Maybe that was
for the United States. Yeah, okay.
yeah,
So
that's cool.
we shall see. We shall see from what's going on. Yeah, it should be interesting. And for me, Pippo Inzaghi, coach of Regina. I still have my Regina jersey, I think, from like 10 years ago, and I still have my Impact de Montreal versus Regina FC 1997 ticket, Yann, when they came.
Wow.
When we had
That's
the
nice.
best Serie A, with the best Serie A sponsor, Cafe Mauro. Everybody's got the Pirelli, Opel, Cafe Mauro. You can't go wrong.
I don't have
with,
one of those.
Regina. You gotta, yeah. You need a Regina L'Amaranto.
Yeah, there you go.
Gentlemen, anything else you want to add? If not, I'm missing Raw right now. I'm missing some wrestling. Ric Flair just announced his last match is going to be against Jeff Jarrett. $49.99 pay-per-view cost. He's lost his mind. I don't know what the hell he's doing at 73 years old wrestling. He's putting up together a package. If you want to watch his match, if you want to watch his roast, if you want to watch, I think another two special, it's $250 to buy the pay-per-view. Like, yeah, just make me go stream. Just make me go stream. I didn't say that. YouTube. Don't dock me.
Poor guy, man. Let's think about this though.
He's got a
72 years old.
pacemaker. What is he doing wrestling?
But what's he doing this for? How much does it cost to watch all that?
Just the pay-per-view is $49.99.
His daughter probably makes more money than him now.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, she definitely does. I don't know what he's doing. It's like Nate, man. Come on, just.
But you don't know. He might have had some gambling debts or whatever, or some other. Was he like that? Because I know sometimes these guys get into.
Brandon's saying, I don't think you're missing much. It's usually a bore fest besides Judgment. Thank you, Brandon. Brandon's another mark, like myself. But guys, Richard, thank you very much again. Where are people for following you at Serie A Sit Down on Twitter machine? You're on YouTube, all the podcast platforms to download. So if you want to listen to a minimum of 2 hours of Serie A going from, and you know what, Yann, he probably doesn't know, but guys, let me explain my side of the story, okay? Because Richard and Frank, they have this in their back pocket. Several years ago, they asked us to go on. Me, I'll be honest, it's not like I listen to their podcast every single week, and it's an hour and 45 minutes in. I'm looking at Steve, but these guys, I go, how long are these podcasts? And I can't take it anymore. And they're asking, best positions of Milan players. And I came out with right back Maldini.
Man, I remember that.
And I got what the hell? You know what the worst part is? Like, I'm really, really bad with positions, but I always remember, Vinny, you're lefty, left back, Maldini, right? And I came out like a right back, and they played it on that podcast over, and they're never gonna let me live it down. And with reason. That's my side of the story. You snooze fest me for like an hour and a half, and so I'm gonna defend myself. Even no, there's no excuses.
Yann, the truth, it was 10 minutes into the podcast, and he did that.
Fuck yourself. But guys, yeah, definitely check them out. They've been doing it. I said 7 seasons. Always a great recap. Whenever I don't get any games whatsoever, I'll go download their podcast. So they really go into detail for that. Again, to everybody, busted tweets. So yeah, and you got to get back. You got to get back on there because there's a lot of busted tweets.
It's soon. The season's starting soon. It's gonna be soon. It's gonna be soon.
Anthony throwing you some flowers, Richard. So to you guys, thank you for joining us. Thank you to Presidente for that lovely intro video. Once again, we will be making it. Well, he's got to put the images in the back. Sonny is still missing in action. We have no idea where he is. I don't know if he's moving from Australia to Norway. Sonny, get back to us. We're all worried about you. Hope you're doing good. And in the end, gentlemen, ovunque e sempre,
Forza Milan.
Milan. Ciao.